meeting to order.
All right, do you want to do the pledge
Pledge
first?
allegiance to the flag, please. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag, one
of the
nation,
United
States of
America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, reading of your minutes, please.
Let's do roll call first. I apologize.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Chairman Anthony D'Italia.
Present.
Board member Anne Marie Fulham.
present,
Board member Edmund B. Moore.
Here.
Board member Mark Schifford.
Here.
Board member Craig Catalanato.
Here. Nice job.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm trying. I'll get it, I promise.
Okay,
Go
all
ahead,
present.
Anthony, reading your minutes.
Hello? All
Yep.
present?
We're all present.
Okay, reading of your minutes, please.
Hey, Malin, there's a question. I had a note on my agenda from last month about Sayre Construction.
That would be correct?
He's the one that had like 4 or 5 pages of judgments.
That would be correct?
Were we going to table that?
His application went to, I believe, give me 2 seconds. We did put it on for this agenda. So we did table it. I did reach out to him again. I emailed him. I actually have it returned here again with not being able to be delivered. It was sent to his PO box. It was unclaimed.
Okay, so as far as the minutes, you actually have it written as denied as the meeting on the minutes, so maybe we should just change it and say it was
All right,
able
we
for
can
this
correct that.
year. Okay, that's the only correction I see. Otherwise, that I would make a motion to approve.
I have a motion from Anne Marie. Second.
I'll second it.
Max seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
All opposed? So moved. Minutes been accepted. Okay, on the agenda. Do we have a hearing today?
We do not have a hearing today.
We do not have one.
We do not.
Okay.
It's a decision on an application that maybe you're thinking of, Tony.
Turn to the town board. We are okay. That one. Okay, we have an application. We have Neil Rigo. We have to make a decision on what we're doing with Neil Rigo.
Okay, just as a recap, we had them in at the meeting last month and had asked a couple of questions or asked for some documentation of which we received from the attorney Robert Merrihew, trying to substantiate the establishment of the business, which I received a copy of a canceled check. I received a copy of the operating agreement that lists Neil Rigo as the sole owner. It's not signed or dated, but it has March 2020 on it. A copy of a Word document that he uses as his letterhead for contracts.
Excuse me,
Wait.
excuse me, Anne Marie. Somebody have a TV on?
It's Malin's office, I think.
Sorry.
Oh, here. Oh, okay. I didn't know you were in the office. Okay.
I'm here every day.
All right.
The LLC was filed with New York State on December 4th, 2019. One of the things that came with the investigation into the application, because we've had some familiarities with someone that had been licensed previously, and on his website, all the pictures that were posted were houses that I believe Andy Rigo had built. He did state that he interned for his father doing those houses at our last meeting. And as of yesterday, I went up. Actually, I had also asked a question about the website, and his comment last month, I believe, was that it wasn't up, that he had taken it down. But I went back as of yesterday, looked at it. It was still there. I went back again this morning, looked at it, and there were some revisions to it. Those revisions, there's some pictures that were cleaned up, and then at the very, very bottom of all those pictures, it states, I'll read it. I took a picture of it. It states, a little blurb at the very bottom, it states, I have interned under the supervision of my father, a builder for 30 years, on some of the projects listed and pictured above. So does that question come to mind? Is that still, I mean, by stating that, then there's no misrepresentation? That's a question I have.
That's a question I'm gonna have to ask the town attorney.
I mean, and that's a matter of judgment, whether it is or whether it isn't. I mean, very technically, he does put a disclaimer in there, so he's giving everybody full notice that in fact, he was an intern at the time, that those are not his, those are his dad's. So, you know, for all intents and purposes, he is not misrepresenting anything. Whether or not that can be interpreted by all of you as sufficient for public looking at it, that's a judgment call that you all have to make. But technically, if he puts that there, he is not making at this point any misrepresentation.
Okay. What's the other thing I wanted to say? There is also a complaint that has been filed against RC Builders, but since he does not have a license, we don't have jurisdiction over it right now. So for you guys to be aware, if we do give him a license, then we will need to schedule a hearing and go forward with that. He is young. He's trying to establish. I don't want to deny anybody a license that's qualified to do so, to have it. But I want everyone's participation or comments on this.
Right, Annie,
Mm-hmm.
all the stuff you asked him for last month,
Yeah.
did the lawyer clarify all of that, clear that all up?
We asked him for documentation to prove that Neil was the sole owner. I have an operating agreement that they sent over. The first one that was sent to us wasn't, it needed to be cleaned up a little bit, but this one was sent to us. It still shows him as Neil's the sole owner. It's dated March 2020 when they were organized in December 2019, and it's not signed or given a date in March. So do we accept that's acceptable, Christine?
Yeah, I'll be right with you, Mac. I'll be right there.
I mean, it is what it purports to be. So that's a judgment call. If you want something more than that, you can ask for it. That's what he's giving you, and those are the things that are before you and what you need to make your judgment on.
Okay, Mac. Mac, you have a question?
No, not really a question. I'd like to make a motion that we grant to the license to RRC Builders LLC. You know,
We have a motion from Mac. We have a second?
Does anyone else have any kind of input on this, on how they feel about it? Any
Well,
questions that they?
I just felt that it, as you know, he clarified. He's not saying that he built those houses. So that's not misrepresenting at all, in my opinion. And as long as his attorney cleared up all the other questions you asked, then I think it's fine with me to go ahead and issue him a license.
Okay, shall we ask if this operating agreement was filed with the state? Christine?
Sure, you're entitled to ask that if you want to.
Does that make any, in your judgment, does that make any, because there is a filing receipt in December 2019 with the state. So that
Okay, so if the December one is not, doesn't have the same information, so what's on file is different than what you were given, then they would have to amend their operating agreement that was filed in December. I mean, you can grant it subject to, I don't know if you all do subject tos, but you could grant something subject to an amended filing and then proof of that back, and then he gets his license. It's up to you, but.
Well, wait, just to clarify, so when he filed for the name, the LLC, just like a corporate certificate that you get, it's the filing receipt. So we have that. I found that from New York State. It's just that that's dated December 2019, but the operating agreement is part of your the articles in the black book that you get. Usually you have to provide this to the bank to open the bank account and everything.
But they filed that, my understanding was that they filed the operating agreement with the state as well, or no?
I do not know that. So that's why I'm asking you, does that affect this?
If
What
they
do they do?
have a requirement, and I don't know the answer to this, maybe the attorney can say, but if the requirement is that they file that operating agreement with the state, then they would have to file an amended operating agreement for it to be in compliance with the state requirements,
Okay.
and therefore with what you're looking at, so that everything is matched up and the same.
Okay, so then we should ask that question to the attorney.
Annie,
Yes,
maybe we should approve his license subject to clarifying that up.
okay. So does Mark want to restate that motion? Or,
No, I feel that's, I mean, we can do that, but I feel that, you know, I don't think he's lying to us. You know,
I think he's
Well,
trying.
if he's misrepresenting, that's another story. I mean, he's giving us an operating agreement. We have to take for the face value. I don't think we should, but if you wanted to make it that subject to a request that he proves that he filed it, I don't know if it's required to be filed.
Well,
We are not sure whether it's required to be filed. I think that,
Mark, we take all applications. When we ask for it on the application, 95% of the time, they have either the seal, the signature, or the attorney who filed it. Just for your clarification.
Why don't
So
we
all
ask, why don't we ask
ahead.
Mary Hugh, the attorney, to speak to that point so that you have that information?
right, so we should, I would amend
He's
to,
on, right?
I would amend the motion to say that we grant the license and request that he provides filing receipts to confirm that he's the sole shareholder.
Okay, we have a motion.
So it would have to be pending. You couldn't give it to him before having, because if he doesn't file it, pending, if it's pending, it'll move forward once you receive the application and the paperwork.
Right, that's what I think
Okay.
Mark's motion was.
Right.
Mark's
I
motion
just need
was-
him to say that the application will pend approval once we receive the proper documentation.
That's
You
fine.
want to correct that?
Okay, so we'll make a motion that we grant the license and
Can't grant it.
request, well,
You-
that we,
Issue-
You make a
Pending.
motion
Issue
that
the
the
license.
approval will be pending until such
Pending.
time as
that
they,
the approval will be pending, he's providing proofs that he's the sole shareholder of that corporation.
Now do we have a second?
Second.
Second by who?
It's the
Right.
sole owner of an LLC, just for clarification.
Okay, second by Craig, all in favor?
Aye.
I would like to say that we need to schedule the hearing for Stuart Morgan for next month. Malin?
Yes, I will put it on for August.
Stuart Morgan
He filed a
So it'll
complaint.
be
against
RRC Builders and
Actually-
Neil and Andy Rigo.
actually, I think you're gonna, Anne Marie, just, I
Yeah,
mean, because
I'm
the approval.
backpedaling here
pending-
because he's not gonna have his license, but
Right,
we
he
need, so
doesn't have-
then, shall we make some kind of a time frame on this, that we get this document back
Yeah, I mean, I would.
before next month?
Right. Rob Mary, who's on the line, I know that we're not taking testimony or anything like that, but to your question, I mean, I think he should speak to that question and when he thinks he can have the documentation in so that we can take it from there. And then we can give him that time, at which is no longer would be pending. And you can say that, we're going to schedule the hearing. You may not be able to do it until the following month.
I know, that's what I was just.
You can file for it online.
Once a month.
He
What?
should be able to file for that online. He should be able to file the,
I think we
Right.
should,
his,
I think we should just have Robert tell us, and I think we need
Right, no
to,
problem.
we need to resolve this sooner than later, and I
Yeah.
think that we should say 30 days. He's got 30 days to do this since we meet once a month.
That's fine.
well, we gotta change the motion then.
Yeah,
So we have
Just withdraw the
Yeah.
motion. Nobody voted on it. Just withdraw the motion.
yeah, it was
Voted.
voted, it was voted
was,
on.
but-
Was?
You need to,
It was-
it was.
was voted
Mark
on.
and Craig voted on it. So we're withdrawing.
withdraw that motion and let's make a new one.
Well, do you
Anne
want
Marie,
to have,
make it?
So you're going to withdraw and put a 30-day stipulation on there?
Yes.
I would
yeah,
make it a
but,
10-day stipulation.
Did you
Let's
want to hear
just
from
make
the attorney?
Somebody, Anne Marie, you want to make the motion, please?
I think that Robert should, we need to know from him that what's reasonable amount of time for him to get this done, but we have to limit this still.
Yeah, I would invite him in and find out.
Invite him in now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you're able to, sure.
Is he in?
I believe
Is he
Charles
on?
can let him in.
He just emailed me, but I just emailed him back.
Neil
He says
Rigo
no
is in.
requirement to file operating agreement with the state. They would not even accept it. We actually do take it. I do have it from others. Most of them are stamped and most of the attorneys do it. I mean, it's
So
going
he
to
can
be
get
your
you-
call.
At the very least, he can provide you with a stamped and signed copy. That's a minimum requirement. So make sure he gets that into you and have the approval pending receipt of that. And then he'll have his approval and then you can set the hearing.
Okay, well then I would like to add a stipulation like the Mark said, that we have it within the next 2 weeks, you know.
That's up to all
Okay,
of you.
I don't
we
see how
would-
that's going to be difficult. If both of them are attending this meeting, I don't see why they wouldn't be able to do that.
Okay.
Okay, can
Get it
can
to
we
us.
get
So
a
then I
motion?
still would like to put Stuart Morgan's hearing on for next month.
Well, let's worry about that.
Pending
Let's
receiving.
let's get a motion on his license first.
All right, so Mark, to make the motion to approve his license pending the receipt of the signed, dated, properly filled out operating agreement to Maylin within the next
10
2
days.
weeks. So,
I'll second that.
We have a second by Mark. Now I'll take a vote. All in favor of that?
Aye.
Aye.
okay,
All
Does
opposed?
anyone? Oh, thank
So
you.
moved. Okay. All in favor? Okay, next.
Right, do you want to make, before you do that, I just need you to make a motion on the hearing that Annie issued. It's Stuart Morgan
don't-
versus RRC
You
Builders.
can't, with
Well,
all due respect, I don't
because if
believe
he
you can
doesn't-
schedule that yet.
yeah,
No.
if they don't submit this, then the license won't be voted on until next month, and if it's not submitted, then in 10 days, then we deny it, I guess, even.
Correct.
So,
Yes,
we
that's
don't, if it's denied, then we don't have jurisdiction to have the hearing.
correct.
We
Right, but
can't,
if we have it, I can move the application upstairs, which would give him the approval and to move forward.
Right, but we don't have, but until such time as he has that approval, technically, we do not have our jurisdiction attached to him yet in order to set a hearing.
Right,
Right, we gotta
can you do a pending?
I mean, he can consent to us setting the hearing, that, you know, on the record, if he wants, and his attorney can do that.
Right.
But then, you know, if you
Well,
don't,
let's-
then you're gonna,
go ahead, I'm sorry.
no, it's okay. If you
Let's
don't do-
let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's get his license and then we'll schedule a hearing.
Exactly.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
Okay.
Okay? So,
All right, so
Andy,
RRC is pending.
we'll wait until we get his license and then we can schedule a hearing next month.
Exactly. I absolutely agree with it.
Okay. What about this other application we have here, Baleen?
All right, so I have sent him multiple times
Four
all the
Seasons?
information. It keeps being returned to me. He's not claiming it, so he's not picking up his mail. There's nothing I can do if he's not going to get his stuff.
Okay, so I make a suggestion, we just take them off the books,
So you want to deny the application?
deny the application. I make a
Yeah.
motion, we deny the application.
I'll second that.
Which application are we talking about? Is this
Or-
Sandoval?
Force- Yes, Sandoval.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
we have a second by Mac. All in favor?
aye.
All
Aye.
opposed? So moved. Aye. We have 19 new home improvement license applications. I think they all, have they been reviewed?
They haven't reviewed, I have, Malin, I know I had emailed you about Mo.
Yes, so I don't know if you got a chance.
Did we have
They've
something in
not-
the past couple months with
Nope.
them?
No,
Okay.
so
And what about
basically what it is
casual-
they're doing a division. Their
No,
their
I
business is
understand
growing.
that. Yeah, I understand that. Then what about casual water? That's been a name from the past, hasn't it?
Not as a new, I haven't had anything from them. If there were any complaints, it would have been non-jurisdiction. It wouldn't have come up in our records.
No. They had marked off on the application that they already had a license before. Casual Water Construction.
Give me 2 seconds.
4923 was the previous
Give me
license.
1 second. I will look at it for you right now.
That name is familiar from the past, and I just wanted to
Yeah.
make sure.
Search. All right, so their license is still current. It expires in 2021, and I don't see anything in terms of there being any issues with them.
Okay, so then mine are good, Tony.
Okay,
I
Matt?
don't know if anybody else has any.
No, I just have one, 2000111 building incorporated. I mean, I think we should get his driver's license expired. We should just make sure that,
Hold on 2 seconds. Let me just look at it.
Building Incorporated?
yeah, 2000111.
Morgan Air?
Yeah, his driver's license expired.
All right, but it expired in April though. I mean, DMV wasn't doing anything. You can't penalize them for that. I mean, it's in April, so March, April, and May, DMV still isn't open, and he's got to go in to renew. Can't do it online for a new picture, so I can't. I ran a background check. It is clean. There's no issues with him. I can get a copy of it again, and we use it really. But for the most part, during the pandemic, it's really not. I wouldn't hold that up, or I wouldn't hold it against him. He wasn't really able to get a license for that.
Is that
Or get
okay?
a new one.
All right.
Is that okay, Mark?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Anybody else?
I actually have one other comment. Sorry, Tony. Question on the certificate of insurance for Mo's. The certificate they gave us is Mo's Contracting Inc., but the actual name is Mo's Contracting Services Inc. The workers' comp was filled out correctly. The liability has the word services out. So
All right, I can always get a new one for that. That's not
I just want to make sure for liability on the town's part that apples match apples.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can get that today.
We'll get it.
And just to bring to your attention, the 2001-20 JVF Construction and Landscaping Corp., Jenny Espinoza, excuse me, I apologize. They are linked to Vic Hampton, whose license we suspended, and he submitted a renewal. And I did, email you letting you know that he was supposed to hand over all the stickers on the vehicles as well as his license, and he did not. So those vehicles were still out on the street showing that he was still licensed, even though he was obligated to relinquish all of that stuff. And these two are linked together. They are married.
Malin, wasn't it just suspended for 1 month?
It was suspended for 1 month.
So,
But at the very bottom of the application, when asked if they held another license, I did indicate it on the application. They did not mark it. They didn't imply that they held another license, and they do hold another license, which is Vic Hampton. It was just something to bring to your attention.
I'm sorry, which one is it? Which number is it?
120.
120.
Yeah, but
JVF,
right?
Right.
Maybe.
JVF is a new business. So
It's a new
question number
business,
6,
but
the question is have you ever been licensed with the town of Southampton under under this or any other business name? They marked no. Victor Rojas has a license with us. They are together. This is their business. So the answer to that question is yes, Vic Hampton's license L005222.
okay, wait
Which
a
they
minute.
did indicate.
Victor Rojas.
Victor Rojas.
He has a license with us.
He's Vic Hampton. That's correct. We suspended that license.
Okay, so he said that he didn't have another license, or he did check it off that he did?
She applied, no, they did not indicate that they had another license. but he is the vice president of this business. So the two of them are on the application, and they did not answer number 6, which I did put on. I did highlight for you and wrote it into your, when I faxed everything, I scanned everything over to you.
Right.
So
Well-
I did, when I sent back the application, I asked them what their main business was. They said landscaping. All right, so they'll be issued, if it's approved, it goes under landscaping, again, the same way his. But number 6, you know, you guys are usually pretty fickle about stuff like this. It was left blank. They answered no. The answer is yes. It is Vic Hampton, and it is a license that has been suspended. And although it was 4 months, he was sent a letter, and he was supposed to hand over all the stickers off the vehicle, which is 8 vehicles that were in town that were not handed over,
So
and
I
his
would,
license.
so I would make a motion that we call him in for the next meeting.
But it's going to be her. She's the president, and he's the vice
Yeah.
president.
So I think that we should call him in to explain to the board the relationship between the two businesses, and that,
So we're gonna call him in and not approve this license.
that's correct. That's my motion is.
We have a motion to pull this license and have him come before the board. Do we have a second?
120.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Craig seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? So move. Okay, we have 18 licenses now. Do I get a motion to approve them? Nobody else had anything else?
No.
Ed? Nothing? Craig? No, all set? I get a motion to approve the 18 licenses.
I'll make a motion to approve the 18 of the 19 licenses with the note that we needed that updated certificate from Mo, which is 117.
I'll get that today.
I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? So move. We have 79 renewal applications, which Maylin already went through them. Got a motion to accept them?
Before you motion, I just want to point out on the 3rd page, we have L005222, Vic Hampton, Inc., Victor Rojas. It is highlighted for you. It says it's suspended. The suspension has been fulfilled. It's just a note before you know.
Well,
Do you want to hold on that since you were holding the new application for the two of them?
well, yeah, but he lived up, he did his suspension, but he didn't return the stuff. Is that what you're telling me?
Doesn't he need it
It's up to the
now?
board. I don't know. It's up.
He
to
would get new stickers. He would have been issued new stickers if he had removed them off the vehicle once he was suspended. Both he and his attorney were sent the letter. I have that here actually. So February 13, 2020, Victor Rojas, both he and his attorney, Stephen Kiley, were both notified that he had a suspension for 1 month. Give me 2 seconds. All right. In accordance with section 143-12D of the town code, his license of L005222, Vic Hampton, Victor Ross he must surrender his license to the LRB immediately with all 8 vehicle stickers issued. I don't really have a problem with it. I mean, his license ended up being, it served its term and it needed to be renewed anyways. I'm just bringing it to your attention.
Thank you. Anybody have any discussion on this? I mean, he was suspended.
I think he served his time. Yes, he didn't bring the stickers back in, but if we don't approve this, it's another 30 days that he wouldn't be able to have a license, and this is the prime season.
Right. For the
and
most
we
part,
just
I
came
just
out of all these COVID restrictions. I don't know.
Okay.
all I did was highlight it because you are not approving JVF Construction Landscaping Corp., which is his other business. I just want to
Right. So
know that
that's
those
enough.
two are together.
Yeah.
So if you want to approve all 79, that's fine. I just want to bring that to your attention that those two are linked together.
I think we lost Tony.
as either the same thing as the scenario from 282. Either to be building commission from this discussion, plus an application to train it over something else.
And I text him and say, he may not even realize he did it.
My name is it's 1820, 1822, so it's 1718.
He knows that we lost him.
He knows?
He knows, but I'm assuming he's probably trying to get back on.
They say, right?
Working on it.
Okay.
Must be internet.
I just wanted you to say something real quick. You know, live with stories. Oh, God. It's funny. Look at what you said. I'll have them
Can you hear it, Tony? Can you hear? No, Tony, can you hear?
building inspections was out there was in 2008 or a previous
Tony is in, but I don't hear him.
Okay, was this Joe Peterson? That was the electric only.
Hey, Charles,
So, I mean,
Yeah.
we don't necessarily have to see him if you call it on his phone, because the town board has done that as well with some board
Yeah, I
members.
understand. I understand. He is in and his mic is unmuted. I don't hear him.
Right. But if his device is having issues, it may be better if he just phones in and his voice is heard, as opposed to, you know, trying to figure out what's going on with his device.
we're also towards the end. Maybe Anne-Marie can chair and wrap up the
Right.
I think we only have a few things left. If he calls in, it would work just as well. Right?
Yes, and we've done that with the town board, where some of the board members have actually had to
Well-
just use their phone as
So
opposed to the video.
So I'll make a motion that Anne-Marie chairs the meeting and wraps it up.
Second it.
Christine, is this,
You don't need a
motion?
motion, but that's fine.
Should I call him, make sure he's good with this, or just go forward?
Well, I mean, can somebody get him on the phone and just tell him what's
I'll
going
call
on?
him. I'll call him.
Yep, okay. I did text him. I think Charles said he was working on getting him back on.
He's actually in, but
Hey, it's me. I know that obviously we can't see or hear you, so I have a question for you. Are you? Yeah, we can't.
So did you drop?
Right. Have you unmuted at the very top of the computer? You
Mail it in?
okay? All right. So this is what we're gonna do. You have two options. You can call in and just do it on the phone if you want. We don't need to see you. I just need you to call in. Or you can let Annie, just chair it. All right, excellent. I'll do that. Thank you, Anthony. I'll talk to you later. I'll let you know what happens. Bye-bye. You're welcome. Bye. All yours, Annie.
Okay. All right, so we need to make a motion to accept the 79 home improvement license renewal applications. We just need to know where everybody stands on the Vic Hampton. My feeling is, you know, not handing the stickers back in, I don't want to hold his license up for another 30 days if he's already served that suspension and his license is valid again. But leave it noted in his file as Malian has.
Yeah, I would second the motion to approve the 79.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Anybody opposed? You got to speak up, guys. All right, we're good?
I heard them all. Yes.
Good.
All right.
We're good.
Okay, lovely Zoom. Okay, so there's no new plumbing registration applications. I need a motion to approve 10 plumbing registration renewal applications.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
All right, we're all set.
So there's 10 approved. Okay, I don't think there's no executive session. Does anybody else have any other business?
Nope.
Okay, so I have a motion to close the meeting.
Adjourn, yeah.
So there's no gavel. How do you end it?
Down the table.
Stand.